You're listening to WRUU-LP, Savannah, Georgia, 107.5 FM, WRUU.org. We are Savannah Soundings, community radio with global soul. You're listening to music local and sustainable, and I'm your host, Dave Lake. Tonight, we are with the Irish folk punk band In for a Penny.
The Parting Glass. Well, that's a traditional Scottish song. It's been around forever and ever and ever. Great song, and that actually was inspired by a real tragedy out on Tybee last year, back in October, and a really good friend of all of ours was killed in a moped accident coming home from work on the Tybee Causeway, coming across the Bull River Bridge. My wife was on the other side with my kids, and I was on this side, and we knew there was a wreck. As more information came in, it became clear that it was our friend Susan who was killed. And I'm pretty stoic. There's life and there's death, and they're both parts of it. And so I don't get too emotional about it. I mean, you can't have one without the other. It's just the way it works. But this one was too soon. She was one of those ones that people say, oh, they went too soon. She did. She made everybody's life just fabulous. And to think of her not being here, it was like, wow, I can't even imagine. And then somebody posted the Celtic women doing The Parting Glass on her Facebook, and I just lost it. I'm sitting on my deck, crying like a 5-year-old. I want to do that song, and I want to do it for her. There's kind of one way to do that song, but I heard it totally different. And so I'm hoping that it's a little reimagined, kind of the way I did it. And then we went in the studio. I told Shane, I said, I just want to do this. Like, I got this one song that's just going to be me, just because. We just set up one mic in the room, and I just played it live, and we did it the first take, and he's like, cool, dude, that's it. You nailed it. We're done. I love it. So, yeah, that's a tribute to Susan, but it does, and I introduce it like that, and then I got everybody crying. It's the song we play in the band when everybody's got to go to the bathroom, so I let them take a break so we don't have to stop. So it's sort of a weird transition when we do play it, because it is so not like everything else we do, but it is, because we don't have a style. We can do whatever the heck we want to do. But yeah, that's one of those ones it'll grab you. It's that kind of song.
It's weird taking that break and everybody's happy to come back and everybody's all teary-eyed.
Then we just wind them up again.
What'd you do, Sean?
I know.
Taking you on a roller coaster.
Way to go. We leave the room and you made everybody cry.
But then the next song, they still got tears in their eyes jumping around with drinks.
Yeah. I'm like, all right, now for something completely different.
And it's all cultures and all races. I saw this older black couple come in. Every 90s cover and a few Flogging Molly songs, they were singing them. And when you see that now, old, young, little kids, when everybody can enjoy what you do, you have something special. You do.
It's true.
It is something special. That enthusiasm, that your head starts bobbing, your feet start tapping.
The way it starts. And it's all downhill from there.
And you might smell like alcohol after the show, wasting it on you.
We won't be held responsible for that.
No. Responsible drinkers only.
You need a place to play that has a little bit more open space for moving.
It helps.
It definitely helps.
Although we we played a gig up in Marietta a couple of weeks ago, and we walked in and we're like, so where do we play? And they said, over there where we move those tables away from the wall. We're like,
all right.
Okay. And we told them, listen, we're going to need to move one more of these tables. And they were like, yeah, we can't do that. We can't do that. And we got talking to them, and they kind of heard what we're doing. Like, we could probably find a place to put that table. And we've jammed into some crazy corners before, man. We don't even worry about it. We just show up, and we're like, we're going to play wherever. We've played big stages. We played down in Jacksonville and opened Jacksonville Celtic Festival last fall. And that's been when we were still playing as a three-piece. A gigantic stage in this amphitheater out there. Man, it looked like three dudes that got lost and just wandered up there. Penny's like 15 feet behind us. It was the most uncomfortable. I feel like we're doing this all remotely. Like we're playing a Skype show or something. I mean, it was ridiculous.
When we did the sound check, though.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, when we pulled it off, we totally ripped it.
Everybody
but it was
mouth
like now I understand why all these
like,
Celtic bands have got 15 guys in the band. Fill up the dang stage.
Everybody was like, "Oh, we was doing a sound check to the song Shout, and we didn't
Tears for Fears.
We didn't get into the song all the way, and it was this great big sound. I'm looking at the sound guys, all their mouth is open. I'm like, wow.
Coming out of three guys.
It's like we didn't know y'all got such big sound. Because the next act came up, I ain't mentioning no names or nothing, but they had like 5 guys up there, and people walked away.
Well, and what's so funny too is we're probably the least likely Irish band you've ever seen in your life. You know, I mean, this is radio, so people can't see us, but we had a guy the other week, we were playing at the Rail Pub, and I ran into this guy the next day, just randomly. It's how we're introducing the band now. It's kind of our intro for the shows. He's like, I've never seen anything like it. It's like, you got a hippie, and a black guy, and a cowboy, and you. And then you guys do that. He's like, I didn't even see that coming. And it's so much fun, because when we're setting up, people that don't know, of course, nobody knows us yet. We're brand new out here. While we're setting up, we're not giving you any indication of what in the heck's getting ready to happen. And then we start ripping out this Irish punk stuff, and people are like, you know what? I would have lost money on that bet. But it's fun, people. Now you got their attention. When people get what they're expecting, they're either pleased that they got it or they're displeased. But when you give them something they didn't see coming, now they don't know what's coming next. And we just keep you back on your heels the whole time and just keep mixing it up and throwing weird stuff at you all night long. It's fun.
Yeah.
And where did the name come from, In for a Penny?
I don't even know, really. I've done graphic arts for a long time, and I was playing solo stuff for about a year before I put this band together, just out goofing around playing mandolin. I honestly don't even remember how I came up with the name, but I had the name of the band and the logo done up before I had the band. And then as I got looking into it, it's got a cool sound. It's interesting. It holds your attention. But then as I got looking into term comes from, the whole phrase is in for a penny, in for a pound. And basically, back in the day when the punishment was going to be the same regardless, it was like, well, if you're going to get in trouble for something small, you might as well do something big because you're going to get the same punishment. Or if you're going to rip something off, rip it off all the way. And that's kind of like the way we've approached it. We're like, well, if we're going to do this, if we're in for this, let's go for the whole thing. Well, I just lucked into getting these guys that all come from their own same genres with the same attitude. Penny alluded to it earlier. I think this is a family. We're a band second. We're a family first. And then with the fact that we get to play music together is just like icing on the cake. Like, we're going to goof off all afternoon after this is just because we can.
When you go to one of your shows, I can really see that, because if you're in for one song, plan on being there till 2 a.m.
Yep.
I like it.
That's nice.
It's a good take on that. I
Definitely.
want to steal that one.
That's just because we got guys at the door that won't let you out. But other than that,
Put it this way: some people come in bars like it's a Dr. Phil's office. They want something that's going to relieve whatever they went through outside this bar door. That's why they come in there to drink, to socialize. And when they come in there with these drop faces and they hear what we do, they leave out smiling, thinking about
Forget
something
about
else.
everything that happened earlier,
You know,
because
that-
they just got blindsided.
See, in the music genre, that's what music out here now, this major music is lacking. They in it for themselves, not for the people. Music is a universal language. It started with religion. That's how they worship. Hymns and things like that. And the tribal drums came into play. And then down the time came into play, and thank you, Ben Franklin, for the key. Because without the key, we wouldn't be doing
inside
what we
joke.
do. Electricity.
Our political rant.
And that's what we trying to do as artists. That's franchising, but independency in the music today is the best way to go, because you're your own boss. You get to have fun. The minute you get with a big major label and all of that, they might take care of you, but they want you to do what they want you to do. And the music might not be fun to you anymore. So we like to keep it fun. Because I think if we keep it fun, that we'll never get tired of doing what we do.
Yeah, nobody's having more fun at our shows than we are. I mean, give it a try. I dare you.
Please,
please
go for it.
Go for
We're
it.
the competition.
But I guarantee you're not having as much fun as we are. We just have a ball together.
Well, I tell you, if they come in with a frown and leave with a frown, they better be on suicide watch.
Right? Exactly. Somebody took too much Prozac for sure.
Now, Savannah has a rich Irish heritage, and it has desperately needed an Irish folk punk band.
I'm glad you think so. We do too. I think it's funny. There's tons of good bands. There's 2 bands in the entire state of Georgia doing what we're doing. I can't figure it out. You go up to the Northeast, man, you can't swing a dead cat without hitting some band. You know, down here we got us and some dudes in Atlanta, the Muckers, that we had come down and play with us. And I can't figure it out. It's 3 chords and everybody loves it. I don't know why there's not a million bands doing what we're doing, but I'm glad there's not, because it's like how to being the only kid in the race. No matter how slow you run, you still come in first. We're the best Irish punk band in town. You don't tell them we're the only one, but Yeah, I don't know. It's fun. I think it's a new sound, but it's complementary. I think we could play with a lot of bands in town because it's so much of the music that is modern music came from the Irish guys came over in the 1800s, and we brought our music with us and headed up into the hills, and all of you bluegrass guys can thank us for it because that's where it all came from. It's outlaw country stuff, and it all came from the Irish music. I'm looking forward to playing with some of those guys. We have yet to actually play for an Irish crowd that knows what the heck we do. I can't wait for that day. That's going to really be insane. But I've watched us win over crowds every time we get out there. It's like, well, whoever in here is going to have a good time tonight. So we don't get a lot of chance to hang out together because we've all got stuff going on. You can hear how busy Jeremy is just doing his solo gigs and stuff. And a lot of the guys, we play other stuff. This isn't one of these, well, you're married to me and you can't go out kind of thing. I never wanted to do that. I was actually shocked when Jeremy said he could play in this band with us because I knew how busy he was. I didn't even ask him. He called me and said, man, I want to do that. And I'm like, really? I know you're busy. He's like, dude, I'd rather be busy doing that. And my life just got infinitely easier, when I knew that he was going to be playing guitar with me. But we have just so much fun together. We're a bunch of clowns, and we're just screwing around all the time. I hope people pick up on that. And I think that's that intrinsic thing. That's that thing that people, they can't put a finger on it, but they know there's something else in the room. There's a different kind of energy. I've played in bands, I've seen bands that make great music together, and you can tell they can't stand each other. And it's just weird. There's that weird thing in the air that you can never quite get rid of. And you had a great time, but it left it feeling a little creepy, And you won't get any of that jazz out of us. You come see us, you can tell it's like, man, these guys dig being together and dig playing together, and we do. It's just an absolute blast. Big, happy, dysfunctional family we are.
Misfits.
Yep.
I have to admit, off the new album, The Parting Glass is probably the one that makes me most emotional. Mm-hmm. I have to say that the song I like the best, because it makes fun of everyone and everything, is Every Day Should Be St. Patrick's Day.
Wait till you see the video for it. It's going to be even more ridiculous.
Oh, I can't wait. You can keep your colored eggs. I would rather search for kegs and pots of gold.
I was working on a song. I had the title. I wanted to do that. I wanted to write a song about St. Patrick's Day. There's only so much you can write about St. Patrick's Day. So I was telling Jeremy, I was like, man, I'm working on this song, and I'm kind of struggling with it. We were actually sitting before a show at the bar, and he said, hey, I got this. I see something. Hold on a second. He's like, I see these two dudes in lederhosen, and they got the big mugs and stuff, and they're getting ready to cheer, and we shove them out of the way and, do a shot of whiskey, and I'm like, so it's not about St. Patrick's Day. It's about how every other holiday and then I watched the video in my head, then trying to come up with the random holiday. We got, Groundhog Day in there, and all this weird stuff. And then the song just wrote itself because I just watched the video in my head. That's a fun one to play. And we actually got on the record, Dan O'Connell from the Savannah Cayley Band, the traditional band here in town, came in and played whistles on it. We played a gig with them out at the Post Theater, St. Patty's Week. Won those guys over, too. I was a little nervous that they'd think we probably ought to go to hell for what we do to their music. And then again, they got to get rowdy and wound up, too. And they had a ball doing it. And so Dan came in. He said, well, what do you want me to do? I said, just do what you do, man. And he's like, I was kind of thinking about this. I'm like, get that guy in front of a mic right now. He ripped it out, so it was really fun. He took a song that was Irish and really made it Irish. So that one's not Irish-ish. That one's Irish, because we got Dan in there stepping it up a little bit on whistles there. It was killer. So fun.
If the groundhog don't see his shadow, we'll have an early spring. A rat telling the weather, is this still a thing?
Yep. If I got to do one thing over and over again, that'd be okay if it was St. Patty's Day.
Kiss me, I'm Irish, at least I am today. Tonight the eyes are smiling, tomorrow hell to pay. We can solve this problem and make it go away if every day was St. Patty's Day. I've got a resolution, it's one that I would keep. The wearing of the green every day of the week. Well, I'm not sure that me liver will survive, but by God as I'm alive, I'm willing to give it a try, cause on the 17th day of the third month of the year, everyone's happy and full of good cheer, and the bars near the bar are pouring great beer. I wish every day could be St. Patty's Day. Every day should be St. Patty's Day. We never have to look for a place to play, and every boy singing tooraloo-raloo-ray. Every day should be St. Patty's Day. You can keep your colored eggs and your great giant bunny. I'd rather hunt for kegs and pots full of gold. Those marshmallow cakes have always given me the creeps. We'll have none of that on St. Patty's Day. If the hog don't see a shadow, we'll have an early spring. A rat that tells the weather, how is that even a thing? But if I gotta do one day over and over again, well, that'd be okay if it was St. Patty's Day. Every day should be St. Patty's Day. We never have to look for a place to play, and every boy singing tooraloo-raloo-ray. Every day should be St. Patty's Day. Trick or treat, smell my feet, give me some corned beef and cabbage to eat. We're gonna hit every house on the street, cause every day should be St. Patty's Day. You gotta tell the old elf with some deer and a sled. I got visions of shamrocks dancing in me head. I'll probably get a lump of coal, I'd rather whiskey instead. But at least now we on, it's St. Patty's Day. Every day should be St. Patty's Day. We never have to look for a place to play, and every boy singing tooraloo-raloo-ray. Every day should be St. Patty's Day. Every day should be St. Patty's Day. We never have to look for a place to play, and every boy singing tooraloo-raloo-ray. Every day should be St. Patty's Day. Every day should be St. Patty's Day. Every day should be St. Patty's
Day. You've taken on, again, just about every holiday, except, and maybe this is sacred, Mother's Day. Mm-hmm. Maybe Mother's Day is sacred and you can't criticize Mother's Day, but Mother's Day is not criticized.
Dorothy Mantooth is a beautiful woman. She was a saint. I don't know, the song could only be so long. We get 3-minute punk songs. I start writing power ballads. I already got my kid playing in the band, and we're being accused of, being Van Halen now. So you start writing power ballads. We're done before we ever got started.
What are your musical inspirations, and maybe do you have non-musical inspirations that go into your show?
That's a good question. Me personally, like going into the motivation and all that, why I want to show up and do it again is, like we said, just the amount of enjoyment that we personally get out of it. It really is just a chance to get out there and do what we collectively love to do, and that's just play music and get to do it in such a lighthearted and an open way. I liken the interactions that we get to have on stage and the stuff that we get to do live, and what makes me happy about it to get to do it is almost the style that NoFX has whenever they're out and they play their music. 50% of the show, that if you go and see them, is just banter on stage that's ridiculous, and then the rest of it's them playing their 3-minute long punk songs. There's a camaraderie that comes out of that, not only within the group, but the audience itself kind of gets to be in on some of these inside jokes. The realization that we had the ability to do that as a group has been an inspiration to keep showing up and still just kind of voice what we're thinking at the time, have fun with it, have that comfortability with a group and with an audience. And I take inspiration for that for our actual live show.
For me, I have 2 parts. For me, music is like food and water. I cannot live without it. Sometimes it becomes it feels like a curse, but it's not. It's a wonderful curse, because whether I don't want to listen to music that day, I still play something. And I'm not the typical musician because I don't practice tangible. I practice intangible. I look at stuff and I slow it down in my mind, and I'm like, oh, That's simple. Now, my inspiration for doing what I'm doing is the people and my children. My kids is everything, and I want to inspire other kids out here. It's a lot of violence, so I want to just get these kids to see that music is a good anti-drug. It's a good anti-violence thing. You want to beat something? Go get a drum set.
Yeah.
Pretty sure after a couple of rowdy songs with Irish music, you're not going to want to fight anything. Because you're going to be, just happy that you got this aggression out. Music is a good teacher, man, and it's a good learning tool, and I just want to motivate a lot of young people. I'm good with the teenagers and stuff, so I want to motivate them to get to doing something. Hey, man, I'll teach you. You don't have to pay me anything. It's just my enjoyment of seeing you enjoy what you do and be positive. And when we perform in front of people, we can turn a smile into a guzzling smile, Last night it really showed me. These ladies came, and a couple of people came just to hear us play it. Open mic now. You should be there to listen to everyone. But they was there specifically just to hear Info Penny play. And that right there, man, it does something to me. And I know this is a special group. I've been with a lot of groups, rappers and all of that. I didn't feel this like I feel with these guys. It's just easy, it's natural with us. And with other people, it's hard work. I don't feel like this is a job. I feel like this is an adventure, man.
It is that.
Yeah, it's like Wayne's World. Game on. That's how I feel.
Game on. I can dig it.
I have to say, probably my main influence on why I continue doing this and why I love doing this. You go through your whole week, you go to work, you go back home, you make dinner, you go to sleep. You get up, you do it again the next day. You do it the next day, you do it the next day. And then the day of the show comes. And the rest of the week doesn't matter. Nothing matters at all. Because you know what? I'm going to get up on that stage, I'm going to jump up on a table, swing my bass around, and watch people just sit there and be like, what the hell are you doing? Half the time I don't even realize what I'm doing. It's that, I don't know, it's like I almost lose who I am, but that is who I am. I'm completely coming into who I am, and I can't even see it happening. Yeah. But that's my release. That's the inspiration that keeps me going, is just the fact that I can continue doing it, and that I want to continue doing it, and that I want to jump on tables and slam around and almost pull over PA systems. People eat it up, and that's not even why I do it. I do it because it's fun for me. I like watching people have a good time. I enjoy watching people slam their fists up in the air and chant our lyrics. It's just something unreal. It's something that I want to continue doing and do it to the fullest. I'd like to see us go from 12 people sitting around a bar all chanting our lyrics and slamming their fist up to 10,000 people in front of us doing the same exact thing. And I know that that's a possibility.
That'd be fun.
And I've never felt that was a possibility more than I have with this. I've played in bands over the years. Now, granted, they were heavy metal bands, they were punk bands, they were stuff like that. It's a lot harder to get anywhere with that. You're a little fish in a big pond. But with this, we're kind of a pretty big fish in a very small pond. So, I mean, I've never felt, never felt like we could actually do something more than I have with this band. So that's what keeps me going. That's my inspiration. It keeps me playing.
Of course, next time you're on the big stage, you'll probably have to get several cardboard cutouts.
That'd be awesome.
That would be great.
Heck
put
yeah.
behind you.
That's brilliant. I love that idea. We could like go to. They're even
a bunch of big heads and
yeah, right.
Or fat heads or whatever.
The fat head thing, the wall stickers, man. That'd be brilliant.
That's a great idea.
All right, we're stealing that.
Writing it down.
Yeah, write it down.
That's happening.
Stealing that idea.
And then, since you already sound like a 25-person band, you will look like a 25-person
right?
band.
Excellent. Somebody holding a glockenspiel.
That's
for no reason.
Dude, brilliant.
It's actually,
A raccoon with a Pabst.
He's Louis the Shrimp.
They're not Louis the Shrimp.
I put the band together basically to play some St. Patrick's Day shows not this year, the year before. I knew the guy that was promoting the stuff, and I was like, man, if I got a band together, I know we could get some shows. Put the band together in about 3 weeks. Henny had been playing with me, so he pretty much knew the set. Jeremy didn't know any of the stuff I was doing. Like I said, he didn't have any background in any of this kind of music or anything else. I went over to his house on 3 Sundays for an hour, ran through the set list with him. I'd start to show him, he's like, all right, I got it. Next one. which I knew because I'd played with him before, which is why I wanted him in the band. We've not even had in the year and a half we've been a band, or almost 2 years now, we've never had an actual band practice because we got to buy our own beer when we have band practice. And so I've got guys that I can throw stuff at and they can learn it. But we played as a three-piece, for the first year and a half that we were together. And so Jeremy was kind of handling a lot of the bass lines. It's ridiculous. We're a band that's got a mandolin and a guitar and drums. The size of the sound, there's no explanation for it. Other than we're all doing things that I don't think any of us ever took physics in high school, so we do all kinds of stuff we don't know we can't. So Jeremy was handling this huge load of all this crazy stuff that he was playing on guitar. As varied as what Henny was playing on drums, Jeremy was doing it on guitar. And so when they talked to me and said, hey, what do you think about Bryce joining the band? I'm like, yeah, he's my kid. That'd be brilliant. I would love that. So we've already seen it just in the couple of shows that Bryce has been playing. Now that Bryce is handling that, Jeremy's a ridiculous guitar player and hasn't had a chance to do it in this band. He's back there just kind of banging out some rhythms and having a good time doing that. I can't wait to unleash this guy, And so now that Bryce is in there kind of holding down that low end, Jeremy's already just starting to kind of put his shoulders out there and, dude, keep going with that. And that's the thing with this band is I never wanted it just to be me and these guys that I picked to put a band together. The Irish influences were a lot of from me, but in this last week, Jeremy and Bryce both have shown me songs that they're starting to work on, which is everything I want. I'm like, this is a band. This is not me and some other dudes. Whether I wrote the songs or not or came up with the arrangements, it doesn't matter. This is a band. This is a group thing. And it would be weird. I can't imagine this band without these guys. It wouldn't be this band without these guys. It might be something else, but it wouldn't be in for a penny.
It's really amazing, though, because when you talk about the sound that you can produce, you can produce a real big sound, particularly when you're outside, big stage, but in a very small environment. It's full,
right,
but not loud.
Right. I've got a background in sound recording. I took sound recording in college when we were still cutting tape with razor blades. That's how old I am. I would much rather hear a band clearly than hear a band loud. Now, if you can do both, great. But if you go loud instead of clear, I'm leaving. Because to me, listen, loud doesn't mean anything. Who cares about loud? But I want to hear, the songs are all, they're stories. And so if you can't hear what I'm singing, you're missing 90% of what we're doing. There's these silly stories that are being told, or these poignant stories that are being told. The songs that I write, they're about something. So we're very seldom in a room where they ask us to, guys, can you turn down a little bit? Because we want you to be able to hear what we're doing. And I'm not trying to blow people's heads off. Now, when we start playing concerts where that's what we're there to do, it's going to be loud. Yeah. But when we're playing in a bar, which is primarily where we're playing, people are there to have conversations. They're there to be together. The bartenders need to talk to people and hear the drinks. And I look, and if people are having to holler at each other, I pull the faders back. It isn't about us beating you over the head with what we're doing. If we can't keep your attention, well, that's on us. I'm not going to be able to do that by volume. Then all I've done is just bullied you into listening to us because you don't have a choice. I'm not doing that. That's too easy. We're going to win you over the right way. We're like a staph infection. We're tough to get rid of once we get into your skin,
Yeah.
Like a staph.
We're also bad at examples.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. That's horrible.
Well, guys, you can't imagine how much fun this has been for me. I just love having you guys here. It's been such a great show, and I've just really loved it. So I thank you so very much for coming.
Thank you for having us.
We've been excited about
thank
it.
Thank y'all for listening.
Yeah. Come goof around. Come get rowdy with us.
Come get rowdy.
Sláinte.
Leave smelling like whiskey.
This has been another edition of Music Local and Sustainable, and I've been your host, Dave Lake. Save this time for another show next week.
Well, I know we ain't headed for the Hall of Fame. Gonna give it what we got, man, that ain't no shame. Let me know if you can hear me. Check, 1, 2. Let me know if you can hear me. Check, 1, 2.